Hi YouTube family. Today I want to talk about a continuation of our series called Don't Get Back with the Narcissist. And the reason I started this series is because I watched this show called Getting Back with the Ex. It's on Netflix and it follows these four couples. So if you watched part one, you'll know a little bit about it. Now, today I want to focus on you have to be aware of the patterns that you see with the narcissist. Because here's the thing, a lot of people, after they are discarded by the narcissist, or even they feel that they have to get out of the relationship because it had gotten so toxic, they feel they have to leave. So you may have been the one to leave the narcissist. But then there's something that draws you back, some familiarity, love, or this future that you had planned with the narcissist. You think you might be able to still have that, so you want to give it another try. And I understand giving one more try, and some people will give it 2, 3, 4, 5 tries, and they allow the narcissist to continually discard them or abuse them, and they'll continually allow the narcissist back into their life, and in the end they always regret this. So that's what I'm seeing mostly in comments as I read them. A lot of viewers, I've noticed, will say, after their experience of severe abuse from the narcissist and how the narcissist had betrayed them or completely flattened them, just completely demoralized them and hurt them, abandoned them, cheated on them. They're the ones who are really trying to indicate and push us and warn us, don't get back with the narcissist. And I have to agree with that. But the problem is we fantasize. We fantasize and we remember the good times. We think about all the amazing sex, I noticed that's a big thing out there too. In the show, they talk about that as well. You see there's a couple where I believe the ex-boyfriend is somewhat of a covert narcissist. And his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, Meg, immediately jumps back into bed with him. And I think that's a huge mistake, because when you are physically entangled with a narcissist, when the sex is so amazing, you're not going to be able to see straight. You're not going to be able to remember the horrible things that the narcissist does to you. And your view of the narcissist is going to be so distorted. You're not going to be able to see straight. Seriously, you're seeing through rose-colored glasses. Your hormones are at a high. You're connecting with the narcissist on this intimate, physical, but also very hormonal and emotional level. So you cannot trust your heart. You can't trust how you feel about the narcissist. You think you're deeply in love, and yet when you're not in bed with the narcissist, that's when they start to treat you badly. And you give them a lot of leeway. You give them all these chances to abuse you because you are still remembering you're still under the spell of the physical side of your relationship. So as you can hear what I'm trying to say, I'm really discouraging. If you're thinking about getting back with the narcissist, I understand giving a second chance, but you have to keep it non-physical if you want to see who the narcissist really is and if they are worth getting back together with. Well, the answer is going to be, from my perspective, you're never going to find that it's worth getting back together with a narcissist, someone who's abusive and toxic and is self-centered and self-preserving. They don't focus on you. So here are several patterns I want you to be aware of with a narcissist. I've already listed some of them. They are so self-centered that they don't put you first. I mean, you might think, oh, they thought of me and they were considerate once in a while. But when it comes in a form of, say, an argument or something that they feel that you did wrong to them, they will not be able to accept that they could be the one in the wrong. All they can see is their own pain, and they'll continue to inflict pain on you and then try to minimize what they've done to you. That's one of their patterns. They're going to minimize anything that they've ever done to you that hurt you because the only thing they can focus on is how, even if it's a misinterpretation, they will focus on how they felt you hurt them. Even if it's completely wrong, even if they have it completely, they've told themselves a lie, but they'll believe it. So in the show, the guy Jeremy continually accuses his ex-girlfriend Meg of abandoning him, meaning when she walks away from him in an argument. And she walks away because she cannot convince him of her perspective. He just completely blames her, guilts her, sees her as the demon. It's just horrible. But then she tries to explain to him how when he left her, he abandoned her. He actually physically abandoned her. But he minimizes that. He can't see that that was worse than her walking out during an argument where she cannot get through to him. She's waiting for her feelings to calm down. She's waiting for a time when they can have a respectful discussion or approach it appropriately. Here's another thing that they do. Here's another pattern. They will smear you. There is nothing off limits to them. They will tell their friends every bad inclination, every bad thought, every bad whatever their perspective might be of you, and convince their friends that they are the victim and you're the culprit. You're the one who destroyed the relationship. You're the one who hurt them. You're the one who is always in the wrong. And their friends, of course, are their flying monkeys, their fan club, and they will take the narcissist side. So that also happened in the show, and you see this happening where this guy continually smears his ex-girlfriend. Now, she's not aware of it because he smears her to the camera. He smears her to his friends. Now, it does come out, though, when he was smearing her to his friends, because when she got caught up with him and his friends, and they were trying to break it to his friends that these two might be trying to get back together, his friends became pretty aggressive towards her. A couple of them did. And they just opened up the floodgates of how they felt about her. They called her a bully. They said that she's not to be trusted. And he said, and they also said, yeah, you're the devil. So this is how they view her. But she's sitting there taking all this abuse from them, and her ex-boyfriend doesn't protect her. So that's another pattern that you'll see, is that your ex will not protect you. To, when people, his flying monkeys, his relatives, his good friends smear you or attack you or shame you, or they just treat you badly emotionally, your ex will stand there and not defend you, because they're the reason that all these people don't like you. They're the reason that all these people have heard horrible stories about you, which, by the way, I know a lot of the times are not going to even be true. They're either exaggerated or they're not even true. The narcissist will smear you every chance they get. So that's another one of their patterns. Now, a third kind of pattern that they have is they will rewrite history. So what you'll try to work through with them, so here's the thing. When you go back to your ex, right, who's a narcissist, and you try to work out with them what happened that was wrong in your past, they will see the past history from their perspective, of course, right? But there's no way that you're going to be able to get them to see the truth, because they have painted for themselves a picture where either one, they barely, they minimize all of the things that they did. So whatever they did barely caused any pain or any problem or any conflict. They were not the one at fault. Second thing they might do is they just completely rewrite it. They put their perspective on it and they say how horrible your actions were. So actually it's quite a double standard. That's another pattern that they'll have. You'll see that they will blame you for the exact same thing that they did. So Jeremy hates it when Meg walks out when she cannot handle their argument anymore. Emotionally, she starts to feel so beat up that she leaves the room. But what he does when he checks out emotionally is he says, I just don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't really care. So, he's abandoning the argument as well. He shuts her out, and he shuts the whole argument down. And he can't see that that's a double standard. She walks out on their arguments because he gets to a point where you can't converse with him. He has rewritten history. He won't see that he's done anything wrong. He's minimized everything he's done. He doesn't even think that it's terrible that he smeared her to his friends, and all his friends, just can't stand her because of him. But anyway, if you're with this narcissist, a lot of times when you're not physical with them, when you're not having sex with them, and this is why I say not to have sex with them right away, because you want to be able to see clearly. You want to see that there are so many times that when you're with that narcissist, they make you feel completely alone. They make you feel like you're in this crazy twilight zone, even though they're there with you, and even though they're trying to pour love on you, you don't quite feel that connection because they're in their own world. So a lot of times they're not even going to be able to console you when you're feeling low because they don't really care. What they're concerned about is how they feel. They're concerned if you bring them down. They're concerned if even if you're feeling down, they're going to flip it on you and accuse you then of hurting them. It's just insanity. So there's no way to ever feel fulfilled when you're with the ex-narcissist. So this is why I want you to pay attention to patterns, because their patterns will show you what direction you're headed. Their patterns will show you if there is a possibility of change or if this is worth pursuing. They'll show, if you pay attention to the patterns, you will not be able to deny what you're seeing. Another one of the things that I think the narcissist does is, that's a pattern, is they're very controlling. You'll start to see that they don't like to give up control. They don't like to actually give you choice. They want you to do what they want to do. They might be able to come around a little bit at a time and say, okay, let's give you a choice. Let's follow what you want to do. But that's sort of them kind of trying to win you back. They think like, oh, this is great. I'll do this for a little bit of time because it looks like they're being selfless, right? They're considerate towards you. But they can only do this for a short period of time because they're just very self-centered. Another thing they like to do is that and I talked about this before, they use a double standard, and they'll twist and attack you back for things that they don't like for you to do, but they will attack you. But they'll do it, and then they'll attack you for what they did. So it's okay. So they twist whatever's going on to reflect that it's your fault, to make the story where it's your fault, and they'll attack you. They'll also rewrite what's going on to fit their narrative where they get to be the victim and you're the culprit. And they'll use this double standard because whatever they're doing, they're going to say you're the one that's doing it, not them. It's just absolutely insanity. And you're never going to feel peace with them. That's the pattern with the narcissist. There'll be moments and pockets where you're going to feel at peace, or maybe not quite at peace. Maybe you'll feel happy. Maybe you'll feel excited and joy, and you might even feel connected to them, especially if you're sexually involved. That's why it's so important not to get sexually involved if you're trying to figure out if this is a person that's worth staying with. When you get sexually involved, it just completely clouds your judgment. It makes you think, it gets in the way of you seeing clearly, honestly. So what you want to do is, if you're not physically involved with them, can you still feel at peace with this person? You should be able to feel at peace with them doing regular, everyday things. You should feel peace with them when you're even working out problems, or when they hurt your feelings or you hurt their feelings, you're able to trust each other and work through this without turning it on one another, without them pushing you away and demonizing you and making you out to be the villain. So, YouTube family, I really hope that you pay attention to the patterns that you see with your ex. If you are considering getting back together with them, it is so important to be realistic and truthful with yourself. So YouTube family, if you found that this video was helpful, please subscribe and like and comment below, and I would love to hear from you. And I wish you hope and joy and peace in your healing journey.